Hey guys, RPM here. Hope you're doing well. Having a really great day. This video, I just got in the new Bitmain Antminer S21. This is the new 200 terahash Bitcoin miner from Bitmain. And yes, there is a new power cable that is being utilized on this new model. I'm going to talk about that throughout this video, as well as the advertised hash rate is about 3,500 watts, but I'm drawing about 400 watts more than advertised. So I want to talk about that in this video, the reason why, and as well as talk about the risks regarding purchasing one of these. What's to come, as it's January 5th of 2024 as of recording this video, and so there are a few catalysts that are coming for Bitcoin, and so I just want to lay out all the facts and give you guys the knowledge regarding your purchasing decision, whether or not you want to get one of these or not. So thank you to CryptoMinerbros.com for sending me one of these to review to you guys, just showcase it, and we're gonna do that right now. All right, so a lot of info I want to give in this video. I've been mining with this thing for about 8 hours and 30 minutes. So average hash rate so far is around 204 terahash during this time. So it's been pretty good, pretty strong. And it does show up on the mining pool. I am mining via BTC right now, and it shows up average, the past hour it says almost 999 terahash. So pretty close to what the advertised hash rate is for this S21. I have a little bit of rejection rate here, but yeah, seems to be going just fine. And so now let's talk about my temperatures, because this is where it's going to play the part regarding the power consumption. So here are the inlet and outlet temps, just to show you guys here for anyone that's interested. It's about 55 inlet, 59, 61, and then outlet temp is 69, nice, 71, 73. Okay, so my ambient temperature right now is around 94 Fahrenheit, or for my non-American friends, it's going to be about 35 degrees Celsius. Okay, so the power consumption of this thing right now, mining, is about 3897. I've seen it fluctuate quite a bit. When I first started, it went up to like 4100 watts or something, but then after 20 minutes or so, it died down to like 3800, and my temperatures were a lot better earlier. But now that I've been mining it for the past 8 hours in my test area, which I don't have any exhaust here, so that's why it's been getting hotter. Which earlier, actually, the fans were a lot quieter when I first started, but now that it's a little bit hotter, you can see the decibel rating for these fans is about 90. Okay, and if I go back over here like a good 5 feet away, 80 decibels. Okay, if I go back a little bit further, 10 feet or so, 75 decibels. Okay, so it's loud, right? This thing is quite loud. You guys can hear it in my mic, and I can hear it upstairs in my house. So I will probably put a Fruition Designs silencer kit on this in the future once I get that in, so stay tuned for that. But if we go to the official Bitmain website, they do have an infographic here for the S21. So as you go higher in ambient temperature, okay, the joules per terahash, this is where now we're talking about the efficiency talk. All right, so they advertise this at 17.5 watt per terahash, okay, at 200 terahash, 3,500 watts. I am definitely not getting that right now because, I guess, of my ambient temperature. So judging by this ambient temperature of about 40 degrees Celsius, you can see the joules per terahash, or watt per terahash, goes up to 19. Okay, joules per terahash. So I'm not getting the 17.5. I'm at about, actually roughly about 19. Yeah, 19 joules per terahash. And so looking at the stock numbers that I'm getting, it's, yeah, not as efficient, I'd say, as a WhatsMiner M60S, which does have a low power mode at about 17.7 watt per hash. So looks like the WhatsMiner is winning in this regard in my location, depending on your ambient temperatures, of course. I wish I had a colder area, see how it would do long term, but I don't. So I'm assuming Bitmain did test 17.5 terahash, at much cooler temperature, then that's it. Yeah, then that should be the advertised hash rate. But look at that, my power consumption's at about 3,900 watts. Now, I want to try something. There is a low power mode. So I'm just going to switch to that real quick. Okay, we're going to go low power, hit save. Okay, and that should have saved. And we're going to see if this, so it looks like it's going to reset. Yeah, it looks like it reset. Okay, while that's going, we can talk about the power cable. So this is going to be one of the biggest changes to the Bitmain series of Bitcoin miners, is this power cable, right? Normally we have the C13 to C14 cable on. Looks like this thing has died down quite a bit. Now the fans are going to ramp up again. This C13 to C14 cable was one of the most, is one of the most popular cables to use for like the Bitmain S19J Pros and, all these types. Actually, I have one right here. Okay, this typical power plug, right? But the Bitmain S21 does not utilize C13, C14 anymore. We're using a cable called a P13 to C20 power cable. And thankfully, Bitmain does come with this cable in the box. Packaged like this, okay? Anti-static bag, of course, and it had really good foam, so the packaging was really good. Just like other, ASIC miners from Bitmain, okay? So yeah, thankfully, I had a PDU that has, the C19 inputs, right? And I go into a 240 volt, 30 amp circuit, right? So this is how I'm able to power one of these ASICs, and I'm sure you guys always get a proper electrician. And if you want like a meter like this, go to themeterbox.com. Really like this setup here. Check it out. So yeah, that's the information regarding the power cable. I didn't get any official confirmation why they went this way, but I'm assuming it's because this is a more direct connection rather than having two inputs. And as well, this P13 to C20 cable is a 12 gauge cable, all right? 3-stranded 12 gauge cable, all right? According to what it even says on the black cable here from Bitmain. So it can handle all the power, right, that this S21 is going to use. Okay, so now we might be on low power mode now at about 2,700 watts. Oh, it's climbing, 28 maybe. Let me go into the web GUI here. Let me press refresh and let's see. Okay, so we could be at 164 terahash on low power mode, and the fluctuation in the power is happening right now. Let's let this go for a bit. It's fluctuating quite a bit. It just started. So in the meantime, let's now talk about the risks in terms of buying one of these. If you're deciding to get into Bitcoin mining, I'm gonna have to say it's quite a competitive market, especially if you don't have low cost per kilowatt hour. Like, your power cost is going to matter quite a bit when it comes to, even any other big boy ASIC miners out there. The same mentality applies amongst all the other ASICs out there, whether or not you are deciding to, purchase, an S21 or other ASICs out there. But specifically for Bitcoin, all right, there's a bunch of big catalysts that are coming. So not only the halving, I'm going to talk about the hash rate, we're going to talk about the difficulty, everything that's been going up, and of course the current profitability and what it could look like after the halving. Okay, so let's talk about profitability first, all right, for those that care about this. Obviously, if you believe that Bitcoin is going to go up in the future, and you believe, this S21, which right now retails on Crypto Miner Bros for about, what, $5,000, could go up to what, $10,000, $15,000 if we are into the bull run, right? So who knows, right? But that's the risk you're willing to take if you decide to purchase one of these. But let's go through now, okay, the profitability right now. January 5th, as of recording, this thing makes about, what, $16.43 a day on free electric. I don't know anyone with free electric. So if you had 10-cent kilowatt hour, this thing would be profiting at about almost $8 a day, okay, at 10 cents. And as you go lower, right, and your electrical cost, that's where you are obviously going to benefit a lot more. Okay, so if you had 7 cents electric, you would then be earning about $9.40. Okay, so you can see the benefit there, obviously, of having lower electricity. So if you have much higher electrical costs, let's say, I don't know, 15, I mean, at that point, I would probably look for a hosting provider. There are hosting options, ASIC mining hosting options in North America that are at like 9 cents, 10 cents. Okay, so if you had 15 cents per kilowatt hour, you would then be at $2.18 profit, which at this point, I would not get this if you had 15 cents per kilowatt hour, just to be honest. That's quite a bit, and again, I would find an ASIC hosting provider. All right, a lot of big catalysts are coming for Bitcoin, okay, and this is going to, in a way, factor in your decision whether or not you're gonna buy, you know, a Bitcoin ASIC or a Bitmain S21. So the Bitcoin halving is coming up in 103 days from now. It's January 5th. As of recording, okay? The Bitcoin halving is basically dropping the block reward from 6.25 to 3.125, and that's gonna happen in around, what, May or April of 2024. So after the Bitcoin halving, I just wanna do just a quick theoretical play here. So the current block reward for Bitcoin, 6.62. Transaction fees have been quite high, so that's why it's more than the 6.25. But let's just say we put this to 3.4, okay, you know, including some transaction fees after the halving. Okay, there's probably going to be a lot of volatility. It could be even more, but let's just say that happens, right? At the current BTC value of 43,500, around there, or I'm not going to change the difficulty. It could go up much more in the next 3 months, right? But I'm just going to keep it all the same. Okay, at 7 cent kilowatt hour, this Bitmain S21 will then be making, if you had free power, it'd be about $8.14. If you had 7 cent kilowatt hour at the current price, 43,000 Bitcoin, you would then only be making $1.75. So this is really one of the big things to consider as the halving is coming, right? In like 100 days, go to what to mine and go to the Bitcoin calculator and put in your terahash, put in your power, put in your electrical costs, and just play around with these numbers. And you know, you can, you know, also put 60,000 with Bitcoin 60,000 or 100,000. I mean, to stay relevant at the same profitability, Bitcoin has to be $100,000. If once we have at 3.4, you know, roughly with transaction fees, then yeah, we'll still stay at, you know, the $18 a day on an S21, right, to stay profitable at 7 cent kilowatt hour, roughly, okay? So I'm just guesstimating there, but you guys can all do your numbers there yourselves, and of course you can add up the difficulty to go up much higher as well. So yeah, consider that. Or, I mean, we could go even higher than 100K Bitcoin. I can't tell the future, and you guys can't tell either, but that's the risk you're going to take if you decide to buy, you know, one of these things. So the daily emissions of Bitcoin right now is about, I think, $40 million a day. And if the Bitcoin price stays the same by then that's going to be cut in half. That's going to be about, what, $20 million shared amongst all the Bitcoin miners that are currently mining Bitcoin right now. So the Bitcoin network hash rate is rising and continues to rise, I'd say, every month. And here we are at about 528 exahash. So this is something to consider when you are going to purchase a Bitcoin ASIC. If you think the network hash rate is going to go up or go down, I mean, it just keeps going up. So I don't think that's something not to consider. But I guess the biggest thing to consider is how much, you know, this is going to make after the halving. The halving is the biggest event. As for Bitcoin, it's a pre-programmed fundamental event, right? This is every 4 years, 4-year cycle. And since Bitcoin has a fixed supply of 21 million, and along with the halvings, that makes Bitcoin deflationary, and in turn, supposed to increase the price as it's, you know, shocking the supply of Bitcoin every time there's a halving, okay? So going back to, you know, the deciding factor of if the halving is going to be a catalyst for, you know, maybe 6 months to a year after the halving that the Bitcoin price is going to go up, then, you know, your decision in purchasing one of these now might be a good decision, because, you know, previous bull market S19J Pros, we're going for what, like $15,000 to $20,000. So with the Bitmain S21 being one of the top of the line, you know, miners out there, which actually I kind of take that back. I feel like the MicroBT WhatsMiner M60S is the better buy. It's a lot more, I'd say, efficient and also well built, and also from a reputable company. WhatsMiner has built really rock solid Bitcoin ASIC miners, especially in the past. I mean, Bitmain is also a reputable company, but they've had some hit and miss track record regarding, you know, maybe S17s were pretty bad, S19 XPs were pretty bad. There was always a few bad batches. So whether or not the S21 could be, you know, similar situation where they could have high failure rates, we don't know. I mean, the one I have here seems to be, I mean, it's the exact same size as an S19J here. I have an S19J 95 terahash. It's the exact same shell, exact same body. Okay, even the two fans in the back. And yeah, it's AM Logic hashboard, so I'm assuming there's gonna be firmwares for this coming out in the near future. New control boards, get more efficiency. So talking about efficiency, let's now talk about the low power mode. So we're at 2837 watts. And if we go back to the web GUI, let's see what we are at. 159, pretty much 160 terahash. So let me put that in my sheet here. Okay. So as I resorted this, looks like the S21 on low power mode is really good. 17.7 watt per hash in my environment, okay, which is about 34 Celsius, or about, for my American friends, this is gonna be about 93 Fahrenheit in my general area right now, okay? So yeah, I mean, pretty good. If I had colder temperature, I'm sure the power consumption would go down. Again, stay tuned. I'm gonna try a Fruition Designs kit on this S21 and see how much power we can cut off and put it in my exhaust area. So that should be a lot better. But anyways, yeah, guys, there you guys go. Low power mode's pretty good. It's pretty much on par with the WhatsMiner M60S on low power mode as well. 17.7 watt per terahash, or joules per terahash. You can see here, but the WhatsMiner we're getting about 175 at 3105 watts. All right, and then the S21 we're getting again about, what, 158? Okay, it's not 160, look like 158, maybe 160. It's gonna fluctuate a bit. Okay, so we dropped a little bit more in power, 2805 watts now. Okay, but 158. I wonder if it's tuning. I bet that's what's happening, because I did see it fluctuate quite a bit in the normal mode as well, right? I talked about that in the beginning. So yeah, anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts about this. Let me know your thoughts of the Bitmain S21. Pretty efficient as, yeah, the WhatsMiner. And yeah, I'm gonna say the power cable is an interesting change, but yeah, it seems to work just fine. I mean, as long as it comes with the power cable, which normally they don't. Every single Bitmain Antminer I've gotten, they've never come with, you know, the C13, the C14 power cables. I've always had to purchase them myself from, like, you know, infinitecables.com or, you know, Amazon, you know, 14 gauge cabling, but this is the, this one here is the 12 gauge, so pretty cool. All right, my friends, let me know your thoughts. Thanks again to Crypto Miner Bros for sending me this S21. I'm gonna go get it hosted somewhere, so but stay tuned for that when I do that, and also the silencing kit. Actually, I just thought about it. If I'm gonna get this hosted, then I probably should just keep the stock fans on. We'll see, we'll see. All right, I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one. Peace out.